Hi guys, welcome to Excel Maths I. Today we'll be looking at how to solve linear equations, and I'll be working through a series of examples to show you how to deal with these. So let's look at the first example. So we have x plus 7 is equal to 13. Now in order to find the value of x, what we need to do, we want to make sure that all the letters are on one side and all the numbers are on one side. And the way we go about doing that is by eliminating that 7. So it's a plus 7, so what we need to do, we need to subtract 7 from both sides. So if I do that, I'll be left with just x on this side. So it'll be just x, and this 7 then cancels out. Then this will give me, so 13 subtract 7 gives me 6. So x is equal to 6. Here's another example. This time we have x minus 9 is equal to 25. Once again, what we do, we want to eliminate the 9. Now in order to eliminate the 9 this time, in the last example I subtracted, but this time because there's a negative sign there, what I need to do, I need to add a 9 to both sides. If I go ahead and do that, so that would cancel because negative 9 plus 9 would simply go to 0. That means x would equal to 34. That would be my final answer. Let's look at another one now. Here's another example. So we have x minus 3 is equal to minus 2. Once again, I have a minus 3 here, so what I need to do, I need to eliminate that. In order to eliminate that, I need to add 3 to both sides. So when I do that, minus 3 plus 3 will simply give me 0. I'll be left with x, and that will be negative 2 plus 3 will give me a positive 1. So x is equal to 1. Here's another example. 2 minus x is equal to 15. So once again, we're going to use exactly the same method. So we've got a positive 2 and we want to eliminate that. Now in order to eliminate that, I would need to subtract 2 from both sides. If I go ahead and do that, that 2 and that 2, they both cancel. So I'm left with, now just be careful here, it's a negative x, so you need to keep that negative sign in front of the x. And that is equal to 15 subtract 2 will give me a positive 13. Now that means x would be, in order to find the x, we just switch the signs. So we put the negative in front of the negative 13. Sorry, put the negative in front of the 13. And x would equal to negative 13. Here's another example. So we have 2x is equal to 18. Now in order to do these ones, what I would do is just divide both sides by the coefficient in front of the x, which is 2. I divide both sides by 2. That would simply give you, so the 2's would cancel, so that would just be left with x. And 18 divided by 2 would simply give me 9. Let's look at another example. So we've got minus 15x is equal to 30. So once again, divide both sides by the coefficient in front of the x. So we divide both sides by minus 15. And if we divide both sides by minus 15, now that negative 15 divided by negative 15 is just simply 1, so I'm left with x on this side. Now we have negative 15 on here, so 30 divided by negative 15 would give me negative 2. So that would be my final answer. Okay, here's another example. Now this time we have x over 8 is equal to 4. How do we go about doing that? Now in the previous example, we divided by the number. This time we're going to be multiplying. So in order to get rid of this 8, what I need to do, I need to multiply both sides by 8. So what happens, I'm just going to show you, I write this fully out. So I've got 8x over 8. And that is equal to 4 times 8 would give me 32. Now this 8 and that 8 cancel, So that leaves me with x is equal to 32. Okay, let's look at this example. This time we've got the x at the bottom. So how do we deal with these type of ones? Well, exactly the same way. Now in order to cancel this x, okay, what we need to do, we need to multiply both sides by x. So if I go ahead and do that, so if I multiply both sides by x, that would give me 18x over x, and this side would just simply give me 9x. So this x cancels, so I'm left with 18 is equal to 9x. In order to find the value of x, I need to divide both sides by the coefficient in front of the x, which is 9. And then this would cancel. I'll be left with x. And x is equal to 18 divided by 9 will give me 2. So that would be my final answer. Here's another one. Once again, what we do, we multiply once again both sides by x. Then this would give me 72x over x, which is equal to minus 12x. Now these x's cancel. I'm left with negative 12x, which is equal to 72. So once again, I divide both sides by the coefficient in front of the x, which is minus 12. Negative 12 divided by negative 12 will simply just give me x. 72 divided by minus 12 will give me a negative 6. So a positive divided by a negative gives you a negative answer. And this would be my final answer. Here's another example. X over 9 minus 5 is equal to minus 1. In order to deal with this type of example, the very first thing we're going to do, we're going to be dealing with this minus 5. We want to get rid of this before we can do anything else. Now the common mistake that is observed, students just basically take the 9 to the other side. You can't do that. You need to deal with this first. So what do? We just simply add 5 to both sides. Now why do we add? Well, because we've got a minus sign there. So negative 5 plus 5 will just cancel that out. I'll be left with x over 9. Negative 1 plus 5 will give me 4. Now in order to deal with this 9, I need to multiply both sides by 9. And if I'd go ahead and do that, so that would give me 9x over 9. I'm just doing these extra steps because I know some students do get confused. So I'm just making sure that you do follow what's happening. So 4 times 9 will give you 36. Then 9 would cancel. I'll be left with x. So the x is equal to 36. Let's look at this one. Now how do we deal with this type of one? Exactly the same way with what we've been doing. So if you've got a fraction, you always multiply by the denominator, both sides. So we have 8 as a denominator. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to multiply both sides by 8. So I have x plus 3 over 8 negative 2 times 8. So if I leave my 8 here, so that's what I get. I'm just going to show you how to cancel that. So that will give me minus 16. So I've got my 8 here, so I can just cancel that off. I could have cancelled that there, but I just wanted to show you, just in case if some students didn't follow. So you've got x plus 3 is equal to minus 16. Now once again, we have x plus 3 is equal to minus 16. And we want to get rid of that 3, so what we do is subtract 3 from both sides. So if you go ahead and do that, plus 3 minus 3 just gives me 0. So I'm left with my x. So my x is equal to negative 16 minus 3, that would give me minus 19. And that would be my final answer. Now, this time we've got one where the 4x minus 3 is in the bracket. So what do we do first? Well, first of all, we'll deal with the brackets. We need to multiply the brackets. So 5 times 4x would give me 20x. 5 times minus 3 will give me minus 15. And that is equal to 11. Once again, we just follow the rules as normal. So what do we do? Well, 20x minus 15. So we've got minus 15 here. We need to add 15 to both sides in order to get rid of that 15 from there. So if I go ahead and do that, that would give me 20x is equal to 11 plus 15. That would give me 26. So x is equal to, so what I need to do, I need to divide both sides by the coefficient in front of the x. So that would give me, write this over here. So x would equal to, now I would need to simplify this. So if I simplify that, so I can divide top and bottom both by 2. So that means that would give me 13 over 10. So that would be my final answer. Okay, here's another one. Once again, now we've got a negative number in there. So we just have to be careful when multiplying out the bracket. So negative 9 times x will give me negative 9x. Negative 9 times negative 4 will give me plus 36, which is equal to 54. So once again, I need to get rid of this 36, and it's a positive, so I need to subtract both sides by 36. So if I go ahead and do that, these will cancel. I'm left with negative 9x. 54 subtract 36 will give me 18. And I need to divide both sides by the coefficient in front of the x. So therefore, we need to divide both sides by negative 9. And if I go ahead and do that, so 18, that will be x is equal to 18 divided by negative 9 is negative 2. Now here's another example. Now in this one we have a bracket and plus we have another 3x term. So what we need to do, exactly the same, we need to deal with the brackets first. Let's go ahead and do that. So 2 times x will give me 2x plus 2 times 1 will give me 2. That will give me plus 3x, which is equal to 37. Now what I need to do, I need to collect all the like terms. So 2x plus 3x give me 5x plus 2, and that's equal to 37. The next step would be to get rid of this 2. What I need to do, I need to subtract both sides by 2. Why? Because this is a positive, so I need to cancel that. And in order to cancel that, I need to subtract that. So if I go ahead and do that, that will cancel that, and I'm left with 5x. So that will be 5x is equal to 37 subtract 2 would give me 35. And then we divide both sides by the coefficient in front of the x. And then that would give me x is equal to 35 divided by 5 would be 7. And that would be my final answer. Okay guys, here's another one. Now this is going to be a bit tricky. You just have to be careful with that negative sign. So let's go ahead and do that. The very first thing we're going to be doing is dealing with the bracket. We'll keep our 3x there. Negative 2, so that's a minus 2 times a positive 6. That will give me minus 12x. Negative 2 times negative 3, that will give me a plus 6. which is equal to 42. So the next step would be to collect the like terms. So 3x minus 12x would simply give me negative 9x plus 6, and that is equal to 42. I get rid of the plus 6. What I need to do, I need to subtract both sides by 6. So I need to subtract 6 from both sides. So negative 9x, so that will just leave me with negative 9x, and that is equal to, and that will give me 36. 42 subtract 6 will give me 36. So next step would be to divide both sides by the coefficient in front of the x, and that is, of course, negative 9. If I do that, that will leave me with x is equal to 36. Now positive 36 divided by negative 9 will give me a negative 4. And that would be my final answer. In this one, what we have the x terms on both sides. So, you can start dealing with the x first, or the numbers. So in other words, the aim and objective is to get letters on one side, on the left hand side, and then all the numbers on the right hand side. Now in order to do that, like I said, you can deal with the x's first or the numbers, but the best thing to do is just deal with the numbers. So we'll go ahead and deal with this 2 first. So what we're going to do, we're going to subtract 2 from both sides. And if I go ahead and do that, I'll be left with 9x on this side, which is equal to 4x. And I have 12 subtract 2 will give me plus 10. My next step would be to deal with this 4x. Of course, I want it's a positive 4x, so I must subtract 4x from both sides. Then that would give me 9x subtract 4x will give me 5x. That would cancel, and that would be left with just 10 on the right hand side. So then I divide both sides by the coefficient in front of the x, which is 5 of course. So that will leave me with x is equal to 2. Okay guys, here's another example. So we've got minus 8x plus 4 is equal to minus 26x plus 1. So what we're going to do, we'll deal with the 4 first. So we'll subtract 4 from both sides. And then that would give me, so these cancel, so I'm left with 8 minus 8x, which is equal to minus 26x minus 3. Now the next step would be to deal with minus 26x. So what I do, I add 26x to both sides. Then that would give me, so that would cancel. And this would give me, so 26, so negative 8 plus 26x would simply give me, that would give me positive 18x, and I'll be left with a negative 3 on this side. So then what I need to do, I need to divide both sides by the coefficient in front of the x, which is 18. So then this would simplify down, the 18s would cancel. I'll be left with x, and I have negative 3 over 18. I could simplify that, and that would give me, I can divide top and bottom by 3, and I'll be left with 1 over 6. And that would be my final answer. Okay guys, here's another example. This time we have brackets, so we need to deal with the brackets first. So in this, what we need to do, we need to be very careful with these negative numbers. So negative 4 times x will give me minus 4x. Minus 4 times minus 8 will give me plus 32. And that would equal to negative 6 times 4 will give me negative 24. Negative 6 times positive 3 x will give me a negative 18x. Now what I need to do here, I need to deal with the 32 first. So I need to subtract 32 from both sides. So if I go ahead and do that, I'll be left with negative 4x on this side, and that's equal to, so what I need to do is just add them up. So that would be 56, of course that would be minus 56 minus 18x. Now in order to get rid of this minus 18x, what I need to do, I need to add 18x to both sides. So if I go ahead and do that, these would cancel, then I'm left with, so that would give me positive 14x, and that's equal to negative 56. Then I would divide both sides by the coefficient in front of the x, which is 14, and then that would leave me with just x, as this 14 and that 14 would cancel. Now negative 56 divided by 14 would give me negative 4. That would be my final answer. Okay guys, here's another example. Now in this example, what we need to do, we need to be very careful. Now that generally what we see, students just do 10 subtract 6 and then multiply. Here you need to apply BODMAS. So what we need to do first of all is deal with the brackets first. So we'll have 10 and multiplying the brackets, so minus 6 times 8 will give me minus 48x. Negative 6 times negative 2 will give me positive 12, and that would equal to 9x. Now here you've got negative, so basically we need to multiply everything by minus 1 in here. That will give me minus 3 minus 4x. Now what we need to do, just collect all the terms and tidy up on both sides. So we've got a constant which is 10 and 12. So what we can just add them up. So that will give me minus 48x plus, so that will be 10 plus 12, which will give me just 22. And that's equal to, on the other side, so 9x minus 4x will be left with 5x minus 3. Now what we do, we just follow the normal procedure, which is just solve this equation. So we just subtract 22 from both sides. We go ahead and do that. What we're left with, so that's negative 48x on this side as 22's cancel. That's negative 48x, and that's equal to 5x is here. And then we have negative 3, negative 22, so that would be negative 25. And now the next step would be to deal with this 5x. So what we do, we subtract 5x from both sides. If we go ahead and do that, that will give me negative 53x, and that's equal to negative 25. So then x would equal to, so we need to divide both sides by the coefficient of in front of the x. So here you need to be careful, negative negative cancels and gives me a positive answer. So x is equal to positive 25 over 53. We can't simplify this any further as 53 is a prime number. So now this time we've got linear equations which are sort of as fractions. In order to deal with these, what I would say, well, there's several ways to do them, but what I would say, just cross multiply. So you can take, if you cross multiply, so your 2 will go onto this side, so that will be 5x minus 2, and the 3 you multiply with this here with the 4x plus 1, so that will be 4x plus 1. Just multiply the brackets as normal, so you'll get 10x minus 4, which is equal to 12x plus 3. And then we'll deal with the minus 4 first, so we'll add 4 to both sides. Then that would give me 10x, of course they would cancel, and I'll be left with 12x plus 7. then what I would do, I would subtract 12x from both sides. In order to get rid of that, I'll be left with 7 on this side, then 10 subtract 12 will give me minus 2x. So divide both sides by the coefficient in front of the x, which is minus 2, then that would give me x is equal to negative 7 over 2. And that would be my final answer. Okay guys, here we have another one. Now in this one, this is exactly the same as the one that we've just done. A lot of students get confused with this, so I'll rewrite this. So you can rewrite this as such, so you can have 5x plus 7, and you multiply that by 1, so that'll just give me 5x plus 7. That's over 2. And that's equal to, so I've got 3 multiplied by this, so I'll have 3x minus 1. That's all over 4. So you can put it that way. So what we're going to do, we'll multiply the bracket on the right hand side first. So that will give us, so I've got 5x plus 7 over 2. And that'll give me 9x minus 3 over 4. Then I would just cross multiply. If I go ahead and do that, that'll give me 5x plus 7 on that side. Then I would multiply 2 and 9x minus 3. Then multiply this bracket out, that'll give me 20x plus 28, which is equal to 18x minus 6. Once again, I subtract 28 from both sides, and that would give me 20x, which is equal to, so that's 18x. Now negative 6 minus 28 would simply give me minus 34. And then I would need to subtract the 18x from both sides. And then that would give me, so 20 minus 18, that would give me 2x. And of course that would cancel. And I'll be left with minus 34 on this side, on the right hand side. Then I'm just going to move this over here. So I'm left with, so I need to divide both sides by the coefficient in front of the x, which is 2. So minus 34 divided by 2. So then that would give me, so that would cancel. So that means x would equal to, so there's a negative 34 divided by a positive number. That would give me negative 17. And that would be my final answer. Okay guys, here's another example. So we've got 5 over 3x plus 1 is equal to 12. How do we deal with these type of ones? Well, what you can do, once again, you can cross multiply. You could rewrite this, okay, any number, for example, you've got 12, you could write that as a fraction, like 12 over 1. So any number, you can write over 1. So what we're going to do, we can just do that. And we can just write this as such. Just cross multiply. And what we would get, we could get 12 3x plus 1, which is equal to 5. Then we just multiply the bracket. So that would be 36x plus 12, and that is equal to 5. And then we can go ahead and subtract 12 from both sides, and that will give me 36x, which is equal to 5 subtract 12 will give me minus 7. So then x would equal to minus 7 over 36. And that would be my final answer. Let's have a look at this one. Now in this example, what we need to do, we need to multiply out the brackets first before we do anything else. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll get 6x multiplying this bracket out minus 10 over 3, which is equal to, and that will be minus 4x, and that will be plus 8, and that will be over 7. Once again, we cross multiply, and then this on the left hand side will become 7 6x minus 10, and this would become 3 minus 4x plus 8. Once again, multiply the brackets. So 7 times 6x would give me 42x. 7 times minus 10 will give me minus 70. That would equal to 3 times negative 4x will give me negative 12x. 3 times 8 will give me plus 24. Once again, I'm going to add 70 to both sides to get rid of the 70 from this side, and add of course 70 on this side as also. Then that would give me 42x, and that's equal to, so I have negative 12x, and that will leave me with plus 94. Now add 12x to both sides in order to get rid of the 12x from the right hand side, and that would give me 54 is equal to, 54x is equal to 94. And then I need to divide both sides by the coefficient of x. So that will be, I'll just take this over here. So that will be 54x divided by 54, which is equal to 94 divided by 54. So that will just leave me with x. Now I can simplify this and divide the top and bottom by 2, and that will give me 47 over 27. So that will be 47 over 27, and that would be my final answer. Okay guys, once again, we've got these ones, 7x plus 3, 2x minus 5 on the denominators, and we've got 2 and 9 at the top there. So how do we deal with that? Once again, we just cross multiply. So this would then become 2x minus 5, and then on the right hand side we'll have 9 times 7x plus 3. Multiply the brackets, so you get 4x minus 10 is equal to, so 9 times 7 will give me 63x, and 9 times 3 will give me plus 27. And then I'm going to deal with this first, so I'm going to add 10 to both sides to get rid of the 10 from the left hand side. Then that would leave me with 4x is equal to, so the 10's cancel, so that will leave me with 63x on this side plus 37. Then I would subtract 63x from both sides. Go ahead and do that. These would cancel from here. 4 subtract 63x will simply give me negative 59x, and that's equal to positive 37. So x would equal to, I need to divide both sides by negative 59, and x would then simply equal to 37 over 59. That would be my final answer.